In the Trenches with Dave Lapham, presented by First Star Logistics. We're coming from the First Star Logistics studios, one of the best that you can find, as Dave Lapham will tell you all the time.
No doubt.
Roles a little reverse, Lap. You've had a crazy day, to say the least. First off, on behalf of First Star Logistics, First Star Media Group, and myself, congratulations on being the newest member of the Bengals Ring of Honor, a long overdue honor that you earned very well.
Dave, I can't thank you enough. Really appreciate that. It means a lot coming from somebody like you that knows the game of football at all levels, and knows what it takes to try to be successful in the game of football at multiple levels. So, it's kind of the culmination of a career goal, and I didn't really know. In fact, there wasn't a Ring of Honor as such that the Cincinnati Bengals had. This is kind of a new scenario, but I wanted to try to reach the highest level I possibly could as a player with the Cincinnati Bengals, whatever that honor might be. And now here that the Ring of Honor is there, and that became the goal, to try to get into the Ring of Honor some way, shape, or form, and it has occurred. The fans voted me in, and I can't thank them enough. The Bengals have tremendous fans that understand the game of football, know what they're looking at, know what they're talking about. You can't fool them. It's they're gonna call you out. So, to have been able to perform in front of them as a player for 10 years, and then to broadcast games for them for their enjoyment and benefit for the other 40 years of 50-year career here in Cincinnati is a dream come true. I really can't ask for much more.
All right, I got my cheat notes here, Dave.
You got it.
You are joining the likes of Paul Brown, your former roommate, Ken Anderson. We've had Ken on many, many times on In the Trenches.
Yep.
Anthony Munoz.
Yep.
Episode's out right now, so people need to go catch that. Boomer Esiason, Kenny Riley, Tim Crumry, Isaac Curtis. A lot of guys, you knew these guys. You were teammates with these guys.
Right.
And the kind of the newer class, Chad Johnson, Corey Dillon, Willie Anderson. Now there's going to be not just yourself, Dave Lapham, in that Ring of Honor, but Leapin' Lamar Parrish, a Bengal that people, I think, often forget about.
Yeah, I agree with you, Dave. And it's a shame, because the dude was a phenomenal player. There's no question. You rattled off the 10 members of the Hall of Fame, and incredible names. Bengal fans, you don't have to be a diehard Bengal fan to know these guys that you just called off in a roll call as such, and they're in the Ring of Honor. And now Lamar Parrish and myself make 12 guys. And when you think about it, a lot of football has been played, a lot of years, 58 years of football in Cincinnati with the Cincinnati Bengals. And the thing that I was thinking about earlier today, 58 years, to be a part of the organization for 50 of those 58 years is, man, that's way, way beyond my comprehension. I would have never, ever thought that in my lifetime, 50 years of that lifetime would have been spent doing something with the Cincinnati Bengals organization. I'm certainly honored and glad and happy that it happened, but I would have never thought it was going to be the case. That's for sure. So a lot of years of really good football, tremendous teams, tremendous players, and with all those years of football and all of those players, just have 12 guys now in the Ring of Honor, just kind of cuts to the quick of how much of an honor it really is. I mean, it's so humbling. I'm totally humbled. There's no other way to put it. When I think of the other guys that are in the Ring of Honor, and I'm going to be joining those guys, and never ever are you out of the Ring of Honor. Once you're in, you're in. You're never going to come out. So it's in perpetuity as such. It's a lifetime honor, and to be associated with that list of players that you read off for the rest of my life is mind-boggling. When I think about it, it's absolutely mind-boggling and stunning.
Fans need to get their tickets Sunday, October 26th, halftime. Bengals versus the Jets, 1:00 kickoff. To be there when you're put in the Ring of Honor. A long way from Massachusetts to Cincinnati, Dave. I have to ask first your family. What, when your family found out this was going on and this was happening, what their reaction was?
Yeah, my family is over the moon. I mean, just beyond total joy. I've got brothers and sisters. They've got kids. My brothers and sisters have kids and grandkids, as do I. We're of that age now, so the family has grown, and every single member is very supportive of what I do. Every member of the family is supportive of what everybody does with respect to their form of employment and what they do for a living. But the National Football League, has a little a little bit of swagger to it, and the family members I think are very appreciative of the fact that I'm still doing things with the National Football League, even at the tender age of 73. So they're still kicking with me and hanging in there and excited about it. And my brothers in particular reached out right away, and they're like, "Dave, man, I can't believe it. This is unbelievable. The fact that you're in the Ring of Honor. There's only 12 people in that Ring of Honor. Think how many players played with the Cincinnati Bengals in 58 seasons, and you're one of 12 guys that they've honored in perpetuity." And I said, "I know it. I hear you. I mean, it's it's too much for me to comprehend. Tell you what, the football universe is vast. There's no question about that. And the Cincinnati Bengals have had a lot of great players come through here. Great players, great coaches, tremendous teammates. I feel like I've known almost every single player that's come through this organization. In some way, shape, or form, have either seen play or played with or, met in some fashion. So to be in the Ring of Honor with the all-time greats, the names that you threw out there, Dave, are just, household in Bengals lore. And to be part of that is just extraordinary. Too much to wrap my mind around.
We often trade stories about grandkids. Talk about, have you had a chance to talk to the grandkids yet? Because I know they call you buddy.
Yes.
They called you buddy. And what reaction have they got? Do they even fathom what Grandpa's done?
Dave, it's funny. I didn't think that they necessarily would have, but they're pretty sharp, and they really have. And I think their parents, my kids, have done a pretty good job of making sure they understand what it is that I do. And they did understand. They're at an age now where they understand, play in the National Football League. They understand when they watch the games, they understand football well enough to know, who's doing well and who's not, who's playing up to snuff and who's not. So, and they're participating in the sport themselves. The boys are. They're both in that 10-year-old range. So they're both out there competing, and they understand, I think, what it takes to compete at a very high level in the National Football League is kind of outside of their realm of comprehension at this point. But they do understand the game. They understand what's required to play the game, and the dedication and desire that you have to play the game of football at a high level, particularly at the highest level, and being the National Football League. So I think, to sum it up, I think you're right on it. The grandkids are extremely proud. They understand. They understand that this is a big honor. I think their friends understand, and they feel like, hey, I got a grandfather that is going to be in the Ring of Honor, and a lot of my friends and people in my school, they don't have a grandfather that's going to be in the Ring of Honor. So he must have done something that was pretty extraordinary or special to be getting in the Ring of Honor. I think they have a pretty pretty decent understanding of what it was that I did for such a long period of time, and tried to do it to the best of my ability to garner something like the Ring of Honor and basically be there the rest of my life, and after that, I'll always be in the Ring of Honor for the Cincinnati Bengals. When I think about that, you talk about mind-boggling, man, that's hard to wrap my mind around. It really is. And I think my grandkids understand that.
My first interaction with Dave Lapham was my sophomore year in high school. You were playing basketball as the Bengals would go around the area and play faculty of different schools. And you had gone to the East Clinton School District and played against some teachers and coaches and so forth. And I still have the autograph, and I showed that to you a couple years ago.
Yeah.
And to have the pleasure to being able to work behind the scenes with you on In the Trenches has been just an unbelievable experience for myself. So I have to add that in there. But the chance we've had to communicate about different stories in each of our lives. Your mom was very high on the academic side. Your dad was artistic. And here they had these sons that were athletic. What would your mom and dad think today, knowing what's happened today?
Oh man, that's a great question, Dave. I mean, they would be exceptionally proud. There's no question. My dad would be proud, but my dad would not really know what I was really being honored for. I don't think. I think he would know that whatever it is that I did at a very high level, and people thought a lot of it, and therefore I'm going to be rewarded for that. But he was not one that watched or listened to football games in person or on the radio or TV. Like you mentioned, he was an artist and exceptional artist, and he had a lot of showings, and a lot of his paintings are in other people's houses now that they're enjoying. And he was extremely talented. I mean, water base, oil base, he could do anything. He had a palette knife that he would paint with as well, and some of the paintings that he did with that were very, very interesting. Up close, they looked like one thing, and once you were back a certain distance, it was like, oh, that's what it is. So he could do it all, and he could do it all at a very high level. And football and sports in general wasn't his bailiwick. That wasn't his interest level, but he was extremely proud of his kids. I mean, he couldn't believe that he had three sons that played sports at such a high level. All of them excelled in high school and had college scholarship opportunities, 2 in football, 1 in basketball, and then the basketball player had a football opportunity as well. And he got drafted in both the NBA and the NFL. My kid brother did. My older brother got drafted in the NFL as well. So for him to have 3 sons that were good-sized people and had an opportunity to play in the National Football League, and one of them did for 10 years. I mean, he just couldn't believe it, because my dad, 5'11", 185 pounds, he's like, how the hell did this happen? Not only to have these big bodies, but the interest that they have in this sport as well. All of that was pretty foreign to him. But my mom was 5'11", 6 feet in the 6th grade. She was taller than her male teacher. And she ended up topping out about between 6'1" and 6'2". And she was big frame, solid lady, good stock. And her boys took after her and her side of the family. Her dad was a big man. Her dad was over 6'5". And back in his day, that was like, damn, he was about as freakish as a 7-footer in today's era. So he was a big man and had some size and strength to him, but had never had an opportunity to play sports. They just weren't available to him. And he came over from England to the United States when he was 7 years old. And, in the schools when he was growing up, they just didn't have organized sports. So he was a good athlete. And when my brothers and I would play with him in the yard, he had the eye-hand coordination, Dave. I mean, the guy could throw it, he could catch it, he could do things that were pretty extraordinary, really, in terms of athleticism and eye-hand coordination. So it's unfortunate he didn't have an opportunity to show his stuff, but he didn't. And but his grandsons did, and they took full advantage of it. So My dad's dad was like 5'8", maybe 150 pounds. And he couldn't believe that he had these, in his mind, these behemoth grandsons that were playing all these sports, because my dad's dad never played a sport either in his life. So it's strange how that works sometimes. But the boys all basically early on, almost right out of the womb, just gravitated towards sports. It was weird. If it wasn't stuffed or had Aaron or blown up or whatever, we didn't want to play with it. It had to be round and and then there had to be something to hit it with, or shoot, or whatever the case may be. We had to have a ball for every single sport that there was to play, and that those were our quote toys. We didn't really have other toys. I mean, it was all sporting goods, sporting equipment, and we loved every minute of it, man. Three boys growing up in this, all big athletic guys in the same household. It was tough to get enough food for a meal. Everybody was battling for the last of whatever. But man, it was a lot of fun growing up with two brothers that had the exact same interests, and we're all good. And you talk about competition now, and battles and fights and literal fist fights, drawing blood on each other, playing youth sports against each other, and then getting into organized youth sports and playing well and playing against each other in all-star games and things like that. Those are memories that we'll have the rest of our lives. And every male member of my family is grateful that there are sports. And in the United States of America, man, you have a great opportunity to play as many sports as you want. And if you excel at one, you can make a good living participating in sports. And what a great country.
You're in the trenches with Dave Lapham, presented by First Star Logistics from the First Star Logistics Studios. And Dave Lapham is joining us kind of a little bit of a reverse roles. I'm usually behind the camera, but not uncommon. We talk and do enjoy our live streams. We do.
Sure.
Dave, I have to ask you, you have often, many times said how grateful and thankful you are for the Brown family and the Blackburn family and all the things they've done for you. It goes back when Paul Brown put that name on that card, drafting Dave Lapham out of Syracuse University. Did you ever think, as we have on the screen there, 50 years of Bengals football you're celebrating this season, that it would be a 50-year love affair?
No, I really didn't, Dave. Never even in my wildest dreams did it ever occur to me that could be with any organization, any franchise for that length of time. Grew up in the Boston area, 15 miles northeast of Boston. So I guess as a kid, Patriots, that's where you wanted to go play. You wanted to be a New England Patriot. Well, obviously, not everybody is going to be playing professional sports for their hometown team. And, I realized, hey, go to high school, compete, play as hard as you can, do the best job you can. You might get an opportunity to get a college scholarship and get your education paid for. And now you're ahead of the game a little bit in that regard. So, you realize sports they're highly regarded. They're highly thought of. People, you can get some good things done and get some good things for your future put away through sports. And I realized that and played as many as I could as a young athlete, and then in high school and in college, and played multiple sports in high school and multiple sports in college. But football was always, my number one sport, and to get drafted and be able to play in the National Football League for 10 years and then do the broadcast for 40 more. I just can't thank Paul Brown, Mike Brown, the Brown Blackburn family, the Cincinnati Bengals organization enough. I mean, they are the ones that took the chance on me. They're the ones that took me in the third round in 1974. We had a bunch of picks in 1974. There were 17 rounds, and I know we had over 20. I'm thinking it was like a crazy number, almost 24 picks that year or something, due to trades and all that sort of thing. So we had a lot of guys. a lot of guys in camp, a lot of guys in mini camps, and not everybody, not even close to everybody that was drafted or signed as a free agent, were going to make the football team. So it's a very competitive environment when you're exposed to sports at a young age, and you work through all the levels of those sports. You understand the competition. You understand that you're going to get weeded out if you don't have the skill set and the competitive desire and drive to compete at the highest level on a regular basis. And the men and the boys are separated pretty quickly. So it's an equal opportunity adventure when you go play sports. And I really thrived on it, man. I loved it, and it became my life. It was the blood pumping through my veins. Basically, was competing and going and playing as many sports as I could. And then to be able to play for the Bengals organization and the Brown family for 10 years, and then to broadcast their games for 40 more, that's mind-boggling. That's impossible. I still can't believe that it happened, because the odds of it happening are extraordinarily stacked against you. But it worked out for me. And, Paul Brown gave me that opportunity. And Mike Brown also those were the two guys. Those were the guys that were the most significant in allowing me to build a life around the game of football for me, my family, and everybody included. So I can't thank Paul Brown and Mike Brown enough for what they allowed me to do, how they allowed me to do it, and to get paid at a good level to do something that you'd probably do for nothing is just, it's hard to wrap your mind around. But I feel so blessed to be able to say that I played the game for 10 and broadcast the game for 40 for the same organization. 58 years of existence. I've been part of it for 50. What? That just is unfathomable to me. It's unbelievable, but it happened. It happened to me, and I'm eternally grateful.
I've had the chance to go through your X account. A lot of messages, Lap. A lot of people posting the love they have for you. Tim Crumry posted, "Congrats to Lamar, my teammate, friend, Lap. Welcome to the greatest club in the world, Bengals Ring of Honor." And Dan Hort had nothing but great things to say about his experience of working with you over the years. But the fans, Dave, we've had the chance to have a lot of people on in the trenches. We've had Marty Brenneman. We've had a lot of the players and coaches and former players. Today, I'm sure your phone it's been dinging the whole time we've been doing this.
Right.
So I can't imagine, between all the interviews you've done today, all the text messages you've probably received, what is it like to get these messages from former teammates, friends, family? It is just embracing the fact that you forever, as you said, this is forever. You have left your mark on Cincinnati Bengals football for however long life is.
It's incredible, Dave. It really is. It's something that I just can't put into words. I can't wrap my mind around it, to be able to pick, the right phraseology, the right way to present it, right way to talk about it, the right word to describe it. To break it down to one word is almost unfathomable, but I don't think it can be done. It's just pure joy. I mean, that's the thing. And I do get a lot of joy out of my relationship with the Cincinnati Bengals fans. They've been a big part of this. You play for yourself, obviously, and you play for your family, and it's your job, and you're evaluated on how you're playing, and you're compensated on how well you're playing. So, I mean, there's the pressures of that, but the pure joy that the fans have of sheer entertainment, and they look at it as almost like showbiz a little bit. It's like Hollywood, but it's athletes. It's not actors and actresses, and they look at it as, man, that's what I'd like to be doing. In some cases, they might be future athletes and football players, but in most cases, it's they're out there for the enjoyment, and they want to support their hometown team, and it's a big rallying point for everybody, big rallying point for the entire population of a city, and Cincinnati's no exception to that. And the Cincinnati Bengal fans are phenomenal how they show up and support the Bengals football team. It's incredible. Players from every single year, every single era can tell you stories that will, make the hair on the back of your neck stand up. It's just exciting. It's a thrill to be part of, something that is so big for a community, and it becomes a big part of all the communities that have franchises in the National Football League. So it's a blessing to be able to play the game and to play it for 10 years as a player, and then to broadcast it for 40 more, and be able to still be around all these other players and coaches, and spend your life in that world, rubbing elbows with these guys and talking the game. And it's just, man, it keeps you young. The enthusiasm, the excitement, the emotion of all of it just does. It keeps you very young. And, you go into a locker room after a game where guys will put it all out on the line. And even as a broadcaster, that you weren't part of that physical exertion that went on, but you can relate because you've been there and done that. And you look at the faces of the players, particularly in victory. It's like, man, there's nothing like it. It's like it's like a like you're high, but you didn't take any drugs. You're just high on the emotions, enthusiasm, excitement of playing the game of football, and that's what makes football so great. And at any level of football, it's competitive, and only the strong survive. And you have to go out and give your best performance you possibly can, or you're not going to be part of it for very long. But high school players, college players, they know what we're talking about here, Dave. And then if you can make it to the National Football League, man, it's you're doing it at the highest level. You're playing a kid's game as an adult and competing on a weekly basis. There's no better job than that anywhere, not only in the United States of America, but in the world.
That season, the next season, the 2025 season for the Cincinnati Bengals, as I was recording this a week away, In the Trenches with Dave Lapham by First Star Logistics was a 10-week experiment that is now going into season 5. We have to thank all the fans that have subscribed, liked what you have done, all the interviews. We have to thank them and thank the coaches and the players and all the people we had a guest. And I want to thank you again, Dave, for allowing me to be part of this. It's been a pure joy. And again, on behalf of everyone from First Star Logistics and the First Star Media Group, congratulations. Well-deserved honor. Can't wait to see that game come when you get to put on that jacket. I'm sure you got to get that jacket size, so they got to go get a big jacket made for you. But it's going to be a pleasure to watch this. And again, to get to call you a friend and a coworker has been an honor of myself. And I can't thank enough First Star Logistics for putting me in this position. So we appreciate you taking the time out of this crazy day, Dave, to join us here in the trenches. And we're expecting a big season. Super Bowl run. How about a Super Bowl run to put on year 50?
I'm with you, man. I'm with you, Dave. I love it. And, I want to thank you. Your work ethic is extraordinary. Like you said, a 10-week experiment has turned into a 5-year run. And you're a major, probably the biggest part of it, really. The way you've handled it, put everything together. You've gone through a lot of adjustments, a lot of changes, and you showed an ability to adapt and adjust. And that's a hell of an ability. And like I said, nobody works harder at their craft than Dave Berk. He's a pro's pro, a true professional. And, it's been a joy to work with you, Dave, and I hope we're working together for a bunch more years. And I want to thank Kevin Burkhardt for giving us the opportunity as well, because he's the one that said, okay, we'll give this a 10-week run, see what it looks like. And at the conclusion of the 10 weeks, because of your efforts and ours, doing what we felt like we could do as well as we could, we got an opportunity to run with it. And, and then it became a year-to-year thing. So we don't take anything for granted. We don't assume that In the Trenches is going to be here every year. We feel like we have to go out and earn it. You earn it, and if you earn it, you deserve another year. And we've approached it that way, I think, Dave. I think you have. I know I have thought that way in my head. And again, I want to thank you for your work ethic and your professionalism. And I think it's set a great example for everybody involved with In the Trenches. You come to First Star Logistics every day, ready to do great things. And we've gotten a lot of things done. Mason Burkhardt has been doing a hell of a job working at In the Trenches on a daily basis as well. And he's he looks at it his baby. Looks at it like it's part of his bloodline, so to speak. So I do think that it's going to be around for a while. I'm excited about that. I think the future's bright for In the Trenches, and there's always going to be sports in the city of Cincinnati. So we're always going to have subject matter, Dave. We're always going to have something to have fun with, and that's the key: having fun and providing information for people that they might not have seen or heard about. Try to give them a little bit more than what they've gotten in the past, and it's very enjoyable, very rewarding. And when we do get positive feedback like we've gotten, there's nothing better. And you deserve every bit of it that you can get, Dave, because I know that nobody works harder at it than you do, and it's extremely important to Dave Berk and his family. I can tell you that.
Thank you for the kind words. And again, I want to add Mason in there. Cannot leave him out. He's been a great addition to the team for the last couple of years now.
Yeah.
He keeps things running because we also do Joe Goodberry's Bengals on the Brain, and we've had the draft parties and that First Star Logistics has put on, and we've had all these great things that we've been able to do. I've got to bring in my signed Dave Lapham football now, so you can add that little touch to it. Ring of Honor now. That signature that I've got proudly displayed. And but again, Dave, thank you for taking the time. I know that phone has been going off, dinging all the time, and I'm sure you got more interviews you got to do. It's been a full day, and we appreciate you taking the time to be in the trenches with Dave Lapham, presented by First Star Logistics from the First Star Logistics studios. Until next time, I'm Dave Berk for Dave Lapham. Dave, any last comments you have to the fans out there as we close this?
Yeah, I mean, Dave, I'd just like to say, like we talked about, the most important ingredient for success in the sports world and the podcast world are the fans, and the fans appreciating how you play, how you commit yourself to play, how we work at getting a podcast done, how professional we are in so doing. And if you do it right and you show a commitment and you show a desire to be a source for fans, they're going to respond. And I can't thank the fans enough. I guess that's the final thing I'd like to say is my appreciation for the fans will always be there. Cheered me on when I was a player, showed an interest in picking up our radio broadcasts and living and dying with us on a weekly basis with Cincinnati Bengals on a year-to-year basis as well. It's been a heck of a ride, and the fans are a big part of it. In fact, they're the most important part of it. Without the fans, we really have nothing. So, Cincinnati, you're great fans. You support your hometown team as well as anybody does in any sport from any city. and we think the world of you, and we truly appreciate you.
Hit that like button. Subscribe if you're not subscribed to stay updated with Dave Lapham in the trenches. And we got a lot of stuff coming up. Trust me. We're going to do some live streams. We're going to have camp reports as training camp opens. We get a lot of traffic on that, Dave, and you always take the time after a long day on the field watching the Bengals prepare for their season. So we're got a lot of things coming on In the Trenches by Dave Lapham, presented by First Star Logistics. Everybody, we thank you for being with us. Dave Lapham again. Thank you for your time tonight, Dave.
Thank you for yours, Dave, and thank you for being a pros pro. Thank you for being committed. Your work ethic is truly a great example for everybody, and you're an inspiration, my man.